What's going on? Hey, during this segment of the crash course of Oh No, I've Got a Buyer, we are going to be going through now what do we do? Do we add a showing? Like when do we arrive? What do we do? What do we bring? All of those things. And I'm going to tell you, this is pretty loose. Everybody's got their own feel, their own flow, and part of it's going to depend on who your clients are. I've got some notes here because there's a few things I want to make sure I don't miss. Because I'm real loosey-goosey with this. Now, there are some definite rules that we need to make sure we follow and things we don't do. But when it comes to what you do, it's your personality, it's who your client is, it's all those things. So you're going to see me bump up and bump back here. But the first thing I want to make sure we're talking about is how to get there and what to bring. Okay, when you get to a showing, what should you have in your hands? Here's what I have in my hands. My cell phone. That's all I've got. Okay? Got my wallet in my pocket, got my keys in my car. Heck, half the time if it's freezing cold out or if it's really hot out, I leave my car running because I don't want to get back in a freezing cold car or a burning hot car, okay? But first off, how do we get there before we have to even worry about what are we bringing, okay? How are we going to get there? Don't ride with your client. If it's your mom, fine. But don't ride with your client, okay? Make sure I wouldn't drive your client. If you're going like forever away, you guys might consider it. But the honest truth is, who wants that liability? Do you really want to be responsible for wrecking the car that your clients are, they're riding with you, or vice versa? Do you want to be like slamming on the passenger brake the whole time they're driving like a crazy bat? Like, no. Go ahead and drive yourself. You get your GPS, you get there and make it happen. You can follow them if you want. I love doing that because I can be on the phone talking and not necessarily watching GPS because they're watching GPS. But make sure that you drive separately is my recommendation. It's not a requirement. It's up to you, but I just can't imagine riding or driving with my clients. So that's how you get there. Second of all, if you get an opportunity, sometimes I tell my clients that the appointment's about 5 minutes after when it truly is. If we're going to show up at noon, I tell them, please don't be there right at noon. Be there just a few minutes late, maybe aim for 12:05. That way I can get in and get all the lights on. I tell you what, it's an emotional bingo when you show up and all the lights are already on. The house is ready to be seen. It's super annoying, and I recommend, this is this is a rabbit trail here, but when you're listing a house, do not worry about whether the lights are off at the end of a showing. If you got 5 showings back to back, you got agents on, off, and everybody's walking into a dark house. That totally stinks. Not only are you in a house you've never been in trying to find light switches that may not even work for the things you're expecting them to work for, but your clients are now perusing as you're looking for light switches. They're perusing a house in the dark. It's just stupid. It's just a terrible idea. The way electricity works these days, it's not that expensive to leave your lights on all day for a few days during showings. So leave your listing side lights on if you ask me at all. That's my recommendation. But get there a few minutes early while the appointment's been scheduled for noon. Get there at noon. Your clients get there at 12:05. You get all the lights on, doors open, things excited, and you're ready to greet them and make them feel really welcome. So you get there by yourself, get there a shade early, flip all the lights on, and have at least your phone. What you need to be able to do is answer questions about the house. Hey, what's the HOA? I don't know. Scroll through your phone, find out what the HOA is, let them know. Hey, what are the taxes? There it is. Hey, how big's the garage? Oh, there's 3-car garage in this one. You may not have memorized all this. If you're doing a lot of business, you're not going to necessarily know everything about every house, but you need to have it ready and available for you. And it's all right there on our phones, okay? So make sure you've got your phone with you. Some people show up with like gobs of paper and all this. I'm not a paper guy. I don't want to have to go to the office or the house and print off the listing sheets. I want to be able to show up as quick as possible to that showing, okay? So I would show up with your phone in hand. You've got to be able to open a SentryLock box, which can happen on your phone. We'll talk about that later. You got to be able to look at your phone to your CSS app, okay? We'll talk about that later too. It's going to show the combo to get in if it's not a centralized if it's not a SentryLock, okay? You've got to be able to get the details about the house. You can quickly kind of look at what other houses are in the market in the area on your MyBor Matrix app. There's just a lot you can do on your phone if you set up your technology right, which we're going to have a whole video series on that can do that. So show up with your phone if you got all those apps. If you do not have technology set up, make sure you bring the listing sheet for every house, and I would recommend bringing a copy for your clients. That is never a bad idea. Okay, that is never a bad idea to bring stuff for them so that they can have it, look at it, take home, write notes on, whatever. But just pay attention to them as you're showing the house, and you'll be good to go. So drive there alone, show up early, turn on all the lights, get the doors open, and maybe learn something about the house, but also bring what you need to know about the house, the neighborhood, the properties nearby, etc. For me, that's my phone. I just walk in on my phone, but we're pretty casual. Hopefully you can just learn to be confident and casual as well, and just do it all on your phone. So here we go. We're going on to opening the lockbox. There are, let's see, I'm trying to think. There's probably 4 major types of lockboxes, and I say major meaning I've seen. There's going to be a central lockbox, and there's a few different versions of those. These are digital boxes that are controlled via Bluetooth, GPS, whatever. I don't know. They're pretty fancy. And they use a central lock card to open up, which you may or may not have yet. But I actually lost mine. Don't have it, don't need it, because I got the app that, and it opens via Bluetooth. Okay, super simple. Or at least it gets me a code that I can then get in. Century Lock is one of them. And we'll go through a little bit of that detail. But here's what happens. You walk up to the box, and I've got one in the other room. I should go get it for you. Please hold. I'll go get it. Hang on. I'm going to go get the box. Hang on. I'm going to go get the box. All right, I'm back. Okay, I got 2 of them. So check this out. Come here. All right. So here's the central lock box. Okay, this is the newest version. It's digital, and what's going to happen is you're going to walk up with your phone, Bluetooth on. You're going to wake the box up. Now it's awake. Bluetooth's on here. Bluetooth's on your phone. Your phone's going to recognize it inside the app, and you're going to click on the address. You've got a code here if you do need to type it in. And then, hopefully, though, you're going to type in your 4-digit personal PIN that you'll get. And it's not going to be on here. Sorry, it's going to be on your phone. So, and this is going to go, open up, key inside, rock and roll. Super, super simple. Sometimes they jam. You go to shut this, and it falls back open. You go to shut it, and it falls back open. You go to shut it, and it falls back open. Well, guess what? Just open it again, quote unquote, and you'll hear it move, and then you'll be good, and shut it, and you're done. Okay? But that's a Century Lock box, and there's other versions of these that aren't Bluetooth and real fancy, the older ones, but you're still going to type the code into your phone, type your 4-digit thing into your phone, and then it's going to give you a code. You're going to go enter 754 enter, and then it's going to open a little key box up here for you. It looks a little different. That's a Century Lock box. This thing comes off, hook it on. I don't know. I want to say these are $45. Some people love them. Some people hate them. Guess they can go eat worms. I don't know. This is a pretty typical one you're going to see. Not this specific one. This is one I recommend. I love these lock boxes. But these are the wheel dial boxes. You use four digits. Do it. Open. It falls open. Super simple. This is easy. Not as secure as that one. But it's because that one's code changes all the time for everybody. And it can only let you in if you have access. This, anybody can get in if they know the code, and it doesn't change constantly. But generally speaking, this does the trick. But I bought a bunch of these for way cheap, and you're in great shape. So I do love these boxes. This is the wheel. The other kind are a push button kind. I've got one of those. You'll see them where you just poke like 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 digits, and this thing falls open. There's the whole door kind of comes off. Moderately annoying because you have to then poke it in again to shut it. But it's not that big a deal. And then the final one that I've seen is a dial like your old locker, the locker at high school. And that one's really hard because I'm 37 now, and it's been a long time since high school. And sometimes it takes me a few tries to get those open. But I only know of one agent in our town that uses those, and it kind of frustrates me. But those are your lockbox types. So you're going to have to learn how to get into those, and we can go through all that in our crash course. You may or may not have been to our summit for new agents, where we'll go through each of the lockbox types, except for the dial one. You can just internet that thing. We'll go through each of the lockbox types, showing you how to get them open. But that's the key, getting those open. Pay attention to that, and you can get that thing taken care of. Let's see what's next on our list. Come on, computer. All right, so now here's the deal. You've got the lockbox open. Woohoo! Yay, we got a key now. What do we do? All right, so sometimes you might have multiple keys, and that's fine. That may be for the garage, it may be for a shed, maybe for whatever. Sometimes those multiple keys, they're going to get one key, get you in the door, but then the other keys are going to be sitting on the counter, right? They're for the shed or for the garage. Now, that's great. Make sure they all go back where they belong. Basically, wherever you find a key, always put it back there. But I'm going to tell you a trick. Not really a trick, it's just a smart idea. Don't carry keys around. You're going to end up leaving it in your pocket, walking away, and then the 5 people behind you can't get in, okay? Which may be good, I guess, if you really, really want the house. But no, I'm not saying that's a good idea. I'm saying do not carry a key around. Don't put it in your back pocket. I wouldn't even carry it in your hands because eventually it's going to end up in your pocket, or you may drop it while you're walking across the deck and it goes in the hole. It happens. It literally has not happened to me. Happened to somebody that was showing a listing of mine. They dropped a key and it went through the deck, through the slats in the deck. What are you going to do now, right? You're going to hope you made an extra key or that your client has an extra key. Otherwise, we ain't got no key. So don't carry the key. What I tell people to do is leave the lockbox open. Make sure it doesn't bang into the side of the door when you go to close it. But leave the lockbox open and leave the key in the deadbolt or in the handle. Leave the keys one of those 2 places. That way when you shut, it's just automatic. It's already there. You lock right up. Now, you all know, you're all adults. You had to be 18 to get your license anyway. When a door doesn't open, it is not normally because you need to crank on that key and show us how strong you are to open that door. You need to try pulling the door towards you and turning, pushing the door, turning, lifting up on the door, turning, pushing down on the door, turning. Lots of ways to get that deadbolt unlocked without breaking the key off in the door, because that is also no fun. Okay, so get the door open, leave the key in the lock, go show the house, have a blast. Okay, that's the lockbox and key part of it. Now, when you're showing the house, I've got a story of an agent. This is what happened. I want to tell you, this is a story to tell you what not to do. Okay, he had 2 showings, 2 different clients even. And he had not planned appropriately like I am training you right now, okay? And I'm sure some things also went wrong. So when you don't plan right and they go wrong, then we're in issues. If we planned right and they go wrong, you're probably covered. Here's what happened. He left one set of clients in a house, ran to another house, opened the door for these people who he trusted because he knew them, and then he let them in, and then those other people had left the house, the first set had, he went back to lock that door up, and then he was coming back to work with these second set of buyers. Do not do that. No! You are now in somebody else's house, and those clients could have just stolen every lick of everything valuable in that house while you were gone for 5 minutes. But here's what happened to him. You never know who's watching. There are video cameras in lots of houses. And I might as well just tell you now, watch what you're saying. There's rules that would prohibit them from doing too much with that video, but the reality is who's going to stop them? If you're saying bad things, if you say something about the blue people that live here and how terrible they make their house smell, like, I'm telling you, you're going to get whacked huge. So do not have stupid and degrading ever conversations. But be smart. Do not talk about how terrible this is or how gross this is or why would you ever do that. Don't have those conversations. Assume you're always on video at this day and age, right? But you could be on video, or in this guy's case, he had only set up a 30-minute showing. So this guy's like, I'm going to grab my dogs. I'm just going to, drive down the street in the car and just chill. He wasn't even looking for anything. He literally was just like, I don't want to go anywhere, so I'm just going to go sit in the cul-de-sac or whatever and watch. Well, lo and behold, he sees this whole thing transpire. He's at the second house. The guy sees that this agent walks him in. First of all, he sees that the agent came with about 3 minutes left in the show time because it was only a 30-minute window. So he came at 2:57 and it's supposed to be over at 3. Before 3 even struck, the agent was gone again. And the guy's like, oh, no, he didn't, right? He's thinking, this dude just left people I don't know alone in my house. And I've got all kinds of stuff in there that I don't want them, perusing through, and I don't want them stealing for sure. So he, confident dude, but there's a lot of them out there. He decides, knowing full well what he's doing, he drives back up, pulls in his driveway, and opens the door. Oh, hey guys, I'm sorry. I thought it was supposed to be over at 3. My bad. Well, while I'm here, any questions? And he was super nice. He called me. That's how I know all of this. He called me, and we talked all through it, and I was like, man, I'm so sorry. That was absolutely wrong, and that's not loving, our neighbor as ourselves, right? I went through our core values and talked to him how wrong it was and how he has every right to be frustrated with the situation. And it's all fine. We got it figured out. But man, can you imagine being that agent when that agent came back, and guess what he found? That homeowner home talking to his clients in the house, knowing he was busted. My heart sank. I was sick. Not just because he did something wrong, because I knew how bad that agent felt and how such a numbskull move created such turmoil in his gut because he knew he did something wrong and he shouldn't have done it. I tell you that story because I'm not very good at keeping things short. Don't leave your clients alone in the house. I mean, if you need to run to your car, I would run to your car, I guess. But get in the house, get with your clients, turn the lights on, keep everybody together. You can't have mom over here, dad over here, and the kids in the basement. Not the way it's supposed to go. Because what if mom is over here pocketing the rings in the master bedroom while dad's over here slamming whiskey and that they've saved for a special occasion? Not cool. You keep everybody together because, again, you got cameras on you anyway. You might as well do it right. Okay? Those are some of the rules to show in the house. That's one of the most common issues. But you walk in, lights on, doors open. Don't make a ton of comments about the house particular. Just open it, listen, and watch. Listen and watch. Your clients are going to tell you everything. They're going to walk in the house, and in the first 10 seconds, you're going to know a lot about their interest level. And the whole time we're there, we're trying to figure out what they think about open floor concept, what they think about the galley kitchen, what they think about the carpet in the living room versus laminate or versus hardwood or versus whatever. We're trying to figure out if they want a large yard or because they just love to mow, or if they want a small yard because they don't want to waste all their time doing yard. We're trying to figure out, we're watching their facial expressions, watching their body language, listening to their conversations. We're not the ones doing the talking. We're doing the listening so we can serve them better on the next house. Many times you're going to be able to walk into a house, get there before them, walk in, once you built some rapport and some trust, and you're going to walk back out of the house when they pull up, and you're going to say, hey, let's just go to the next one. This one isn't for you. It's got that galley kitchen that you hate. Boom. They are thinking, my agent is the best. It's all because you listened at the last house. Okay? Listen and learn. Pay attention. Figure out what they love, what they don't like, and then ask them. So tell me what you think about when you saw this. Where would you, in your mind, where would you be putting your furniture? Where does your TV go in this living room? All those types of questions. You're just asking and you're listening because we want to make sure we're serving them as best we can. We can help them find the house of their dreams. Okay? So that's showing the house. There's not a ton to it. It's pretty natural. The more you do it, the more you're going to get comfortable. But one of the most important elements to showing a house well is getting out of there well. Okay? Now again, this is the crash course. You've got a client, you're like, oh darn, I gotta go show a house in 2 days. I've never done this before. What do I do? This is what we're talking about. Just the basics of this. Now, getting out of the house. Turn off all the lights. If they tell you to turn them off, there's going to be agent notes and centralized showing service. So that lady that called you back is going to tell you what the agent notes are. It's going to say, take off your shoes. If they say take off your shoes and your shoes are clean, if you're like anything like me, you'd rather me walk around with my shoes into my stinky feet, I promise you. So my shoes are perfect. We're fine. I don't worry about it. If they have foot covers, put those on. If they take off your shoes and it's a rainy day, take your daggum shoes off and go through. If your client can't do it, they can't do it. It's part of the game. But the reality is yeah, take them off if you can. But I lost my train of thought. I don't know why I worried so much about shoes. But, oh yeah, agent notes. So the agent notes are going to tell you, please take off your shoes. Please shut off all the lights. Please lock up all the doors. Please make sure you don't let the cat out. Please, I mean, like on and on and on. They're going to tell you these things. They're going to tell you where the dog's at. Going to tell you if there is no dog. Going to tell you there is a dog, but he's fine. All these things. Pay attention to the agent notes. If they want you to turn the lights off, turn the lights off. Go around the house. Say, hey, you guys head to your car. I'm going to make sure we're locked up and the lights are off. So the last thing I do at a showing is I send my people out and I say, hey, head to the car. Here's the address you're going next, so they can start pulling it up on their GPS. They're sitting in their car waiting on you. While you do that, you walk around. Sliding glass door, locked, and the bar in. Another door that leads out of the master to the backyard. Is that thing locked? Are all the windows the way they were? Are they all locked? You don't have to check every window, but if you saw somebody open one, go out there and lock it back up. Then you turn off all the lights, and then you come back to the front door. The keys should be in the key slot. Perfect. Lock it up. Game over. Key back in the open lockbox. Snap it shut, and you're out of there. Call the agent. Hey, we're out of here. Thanks for letting us see the house. You're in your car, pull up your GPS, and you're off and running to the next one. That's how you get out of a house. Get in the habit of staying in there 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 3 minutes longer than your clients to do a runaround. Again, they will respect you if you are being diligent with other people's property. They know that you're going to care well also. If you're going to care well for other people's property, they know that you're going to care well for their property, okay? Which is their money as they're putting offers in. It's their inspection responses as you're trying to help them through those. They are going to watch your every move and develop, judgments about you. That could be right or could be wrong, but let's make sure they're always good ones, all right? So that's how you get out of a house. That is how you show a house. I am not going to recap that whole mess. Go back and listen to it again. But enjoy it. Have a blast. Keep it light. Don't be stuffy. And here's a couple quick tips. In our market right now, and by the time you're watching this, it may have changed. But the reality is there are times you're going to show up with other agents. Always introduce yourself as the real estate agent. Hey, I'm Eli Skinner, the real estate agent. Find the other agent in there. Introduce yourself. If you get there last, he might hand you a key because they may all not follow these rules. I say rules. They're suggestions about the key. They may hand you a key. Say, hey, we're about out of here. Here's the key. You can lock it up. Great. Thank you so much. Keep it light. Keep it jovial. Don't interact with their clients a ton, but do make yourself known that you're the real estate agent. Everything's good. We're going to have fun. Thanks for letting us come in and participate in looking at this house with you guys. Okay? Some agents are going to be super jerks. I literally got locked out of a house one time. We got there first. We started to look around the outside a bit. The other people showed up, ran in the house, unlocked the door, turned around, locked it behind them, and we were stuck out in the cold. Not a good idea. He finally picked on the wrong agent. So that was a problem. I just banged on the door till he opened it. Made him look like an idiot in front of his clients. Okay? That's not us. We do not do that to people. We're not going to lock other people out. This is a house that the sellers have decided they're willing to show to 4 people at once. That's not our call. We're going to be professionals about it, okay? So if you run into other people, introduce yourself as the real estate agent. Maybe make sure you have a card ready to prove you're the real estate agent. And just don't creep in on people, okay? Go find them in the house. Say, hey, just want to let you know we're here. We're showing the house as well. Thanks for letting us kind of piggyback. Perfect, okay? That's one of the common situations that you'll run into as well. But confidence is key, and kindness is always key. All right? Have a great time. I can't wait to see how many showings you get on. Make sure you hit us up, hit your trainer up if you got any questions. All right? See you next time.